Once upon a time, in a quaint corner of the world, there lay an airport, a portal to the skies, known to the locals as Bournemouth Airport. It was here that our tale of woe unfolds, a saga of expectations unmet, of dreams dashed upon the rocks of reality. I, your humble narrator, a soul with a heart full of hope and a penchant for the poetic, found myself entwined in this dramatic ballet of discontent. As I approached the hallowed halls of Bournemouth Airport, my spirits were high, buoyed by the prospect of jet-setting adventures. Alas, my buoyancy was to be short-lived. The once charming airport, a gem of efficiency and warmth, had transformed into a labyrinth of chaos and greed. I recall the day with crystalline clarity, the sun casting its golden gaze upon the tarmac as I, a mere mortal with a golf bag in tow, sought to check in my precious cargo. But lo, the staff, those custodians of customer care, were ensconced in their ivory tower, sipping coffee with the nonchalance of Roman emperors watching gladiators spill blood for sport. My pleas for assistance fell upon ears as deaf as the statues of old, their eyes judging me for daring to interrupt their liquid repast. Oh, the ignominy of it all. To be shooed away, to have one's time disregarded as if it were naught but a trifle, a bothersome fly buzzing about their regal presence. It was a slap in the face, a stark reminder that at Bournemouth Airport, the staff deemed themselves demigods, untouchable and aloof. As I traversed the gauntlet of security, I stumbled upon a familiar face, the same lady who had so callously dismissed me earlier. Her gaze, cold and piercing, followed me as I navigated through the throngs of weary travelers. It was as if she had marked me, a victim for her amusement, and I could not escape her watchful eye. The indignity, to be treated as a pariah in a place that once welcomed me with open arms. The departure lounge, once a haven of tranquility, had morphed into a den of overpriced commodities and sardine-can-like congestion. The air was thick with the scent of sewage, a miasma that clung to one's nostrils like a stubborn barnacle. And oh, the queues, snaking their way across the runway, a serpentine testament to the airport's overzealous scheduling. To stand on the very runway that should be a symbol of freedom and flight, queuing like a common peasant awaiting their daily bread, was a mockery of the highest order. The staff, those purveyors of disdain, moved at a glacial pace, each action deliberate in its slowness, as if time were a mere suggestion rather than a steadfast master. The departure lounge, designed for a bygone era, groaned under the weight of its captive audience, a cruel joke played upon those who dared to dream of a swift and painless passage. As I stood, shoulder to shoulder with my fellow sufferers, the weight of our collective despair hung heavy in the air. We were but cattle, herded through a maze of inefficiency, our patience tried, our spirits broken. The once proud Bournemouth Airport had become a monument to corporate greed, a place where the almighty pound reigned supreme, and the traveler's comfort was but an afterthought. The final indignity came as I disembarked from my flight, expecting the warm embrace of home. Instead, I was greeted by the interminable wait at immigration, the cold, unforgiving concrete beneath my feet, the chill of the night air seeping into my bones. The officers, as few as the grains of sand in an hourglass, sifted through the sea of humanity with the speed of a tortoise on a leisurely stroll. In this, my tale of sorrow, I stand before you, a lone voice crying out in the wilderness, a traveler who once held Bournemouth Airport in high esteem. But
the businesses near Bournemouth Airport feel like they were designed by someone who hates joy and has a PhD in squeezing wallets until they squeak. If you arrive hungry, hopeful, or simply human, the neighborhood greets you with the warmth of a parking meter that smiles while it swallows your last coin. I say this not to shock you, but to spare you the slow-motion heartbreak I keep watching travelers discover, as though the airport postcode were a hidden tax on optimism. Start with the obvious the instant you wheel into Castle Point Shopping Centre. The tarmac itself seems to whisper, 4 hours tops. They hide this whisper in print the size of an ant's diary. Mums who have fed babies in cafe corners, families who have queued 50 minutes for a sandwich, pensioners clutching Christmas savings, all stroll back to their cars, thinking the centre says thank you for the hundreds they just spent. Instead, the centre posts a love letter that begins, pay £100 or else. One mother, arms still aching from holding her 6-month-old, opened that letter and felt her stomach fall through the floor. Another shopper, camper van full of picnic gear, discovered height barriers, weight limits, bays so narrow you exit your vehicle like toothpaste. The roof is missing, the wind bullies the walkways, and if you dare look for a coffee to steady your nerves, you find 2 cafes and a McDonald's hiding inside an Asda, queues curling like angry snakes. The message is universal, every store might smile at the till, but the car park is the real landlord, and it collects rent in secret. Slide a few miles toward the harbour side and the Harbour Hotel Christchurch promises salt-kissed romance. Instead it serves comedy at steakhouse prices. Wedding couples check in and find their private terrace is actually a public stage, every tourist upstairs invited to the show. Coffee machines live inside wardrobes, as though Java were a dirty secret. Towel rails get hotter than a blacksmith's forge touch one, and you will brand your fingerprints onto the chrome. Guests spend the night with windows thrown wide, begging the sea air to cool them, while lounge chairs downstairs wobble and collapse under Sunday lunch guests. A diner's leg was trapped when his seat gave way. The manager laughed, offered free coffee, and never followed up. Spa days feel haunted, ceilings sag, tiles drop like bad secrets, and the changing rooms offer 1 plank of wood for 20 shoulders. A birthday woman queued an hour for a shower, paid £130, then watched screaming babies splash the relaxation pool. You begin to sense a pattern grandeur on the brochure, improvisation in real life, and an invoice that always arrives before the apology. If you hoped a curry would rescue the evening, Dilly Heart Westbourne stands ready to stomp on that dream. Orders wander in like lost tourists. Naan arrives cold and limp, dal tastes of dishwater, almond paste inside thick cold bread, no honey, no butter, just doughy regret. One family phoned at 10, were laughed at through the intercom, and told the kitchen had already switched the lights off, even though Google promised another hour. Website bookings vanish into the ether. Diners turn up with 6 hungry friends only to be told, "We can squeeze 4, the other 2 must evaporate." Portions look like side plates dressed up as main courses. Wine bottles come pre-opened, refilled to the neck, red tasting suspiciously like red water. A Groupon couple were texted mid-drive, rerouted to a smaller branch, told their voucher was now void, then watched the waiter shrug as though mathematics were a prank. Delivery orders forget half the food, and when you ring to ask, staff treat the complaint like an alien language. One customer found £57 worth of tomato ketchup-coloured chicken, another waited 2 hours, while the lone driver pedalled in circles.
The curry houses here share an unspoken rule: spice is optional, warmth is theoretical, and customer service is a myth told by other towns. Coffee should be safe ground, yet South Coast coffee proves even beans can betray you. A shop once splashed with rainbows, local art, buzzing queer energy, has been bleached into something that smells of nothing. Flags vanished overnight, paintings scraped off, staff replaced by a skeleton crew who move like they have somewhere better to be. Vegan milk is now a luxury tax, the menu shrinks, prices jump to £5. £50 a cup, and the hygiene score falls from 5 stars to 1. Regulars walk in, stop mid-stride, feel the air thinner as though someone stole the colour. A brunch plate arrives avocado browner.
I've been looking into what happens round Bournemouth Airport. You know, just walking the little roads past Herne. And the shops, they feel like they waiting to bite. They smile, but the price tags have secret teeth. First thing, the souvenir shack by the roundabout. The one with the plastic planes in the window. They tell you the fridge magnet is £2, but when the card machine beeps they punch in 20, then shrug like the button's stuck. Tourists only notice at the gate when the coffee gets declined. I think the girl behind the counter pockets the extra, probably buys another cheap mascara, and the flyer misses their snack, sits hungry waiting for boarding, already homesick. Second, the stamp collector place, tiny, smells like old paper. Uncle behind the counter shows a rare queen stamp, says it will double your money before holiday ends. He wraps it fast, slips a copied one in the sleeve. You fly home, try to sell, dealer laughs. says it S printed yesterday. I predict the uncle keeps the real stamp for the next victim, and the tourist feels stupid, maybe hides